All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to PSG's webinar on Legal Pandemic Insights. This webinar is part 3 of our PSG webinar series on navigating through COVID-19. My name is Shirley, and I will be your host for today. Before we get started, I want to quickly introduce you to your GoToWebinar functions. On your toolbar, you will see a question or chat bar. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type it in there at any time. To keep this webinar interactive, our speakers today will be addressing questions as they come in. This webinar is scheduled to run until 2 p.m. today. If we do not get through all the questions at the end of the webinar, please email them to info@psg.ca and we will get your responses to them. The presentation slides are attached as handouts, which can be accessed on your toolbar as well. I would now like to welcome and introduce our speakers today from Blaney McMurtry and members of the firm's Employment and Labor Group, Maria Kotsopoulos and Christopher McCullen. Maria's employment, human rights, and labor practice is broad and wide-ranging, advising employers, unions, and employees on workplace and human resources matters from the inception of the employment relationship to its conclusion, and issues that arise in between. Maria also litigates wrongful dismissal claims, labor, and human rights applications. Christopher acts on behalf of both employers and employees in all areas of employment, labor, human rights, and occupational health and safety law. Christopher has appeared as lead counsel on matters before all courts in Ontario, as well as the Ontario Labour Relations Board, the Human Rights Tribunal of Ontario, and various boards of arbitration. Christopher also practices in the area of privacy law with an emphasis on issues relating to privacy in the workplace. Without further ado, Maria and Christopher, welcome again. Thanks for being here, and I will pass this over to you both.
Thanks very much. As we all know, the landscape has changed and is changing really quickly. We can go to the next slide, Shirley. We're all learning of new initiatives and programs responding to this crisis on an almost daily basis. For example, today, this morning, we heard the Prime Minister announce the new Canada Emergency Student Benefit that will be implemented for post-secondary students and those entering into post-secondary institutions in September. This rate of change itself poses challenges to contingency planning. What seemed like a way forward last week may no longer be appropriate for your organization, or there may be new opportunities vis-a-vis employees presented by evolving government programs that seek to be responsive to specific issues that arise. I think it's fair to say that we're all operating in real time in a way not previously known. What's being demanded of us is to be on top of these legal developments in a far more immediate and reactive way, whether it be with reference to these government programs as they're being adapted to encourage the maintenance of employees on payroll, or for employees themselves who have quickly had to adapt to new work arrangements and to the potential for having to shore up their own personal financial situations. We hope that we can help you today in this process of keeping you as up to date as possible, which will then help you in respect of your ongoing planning. Thanks. We can go to the next slide.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris McClelland. Just to provide a brief introduction, in addition to the comments that Maria just provided. So what we're seeing now is